What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle, and welcome back to another episode of Closing Bell. And today, we not only are talking FIFA 21 Ultimate Team, Road to the Final, UCL, but I have a special guest. Alan Alvey is going to join us shortly, and we're going to discuss the best players in this year's installment. Top to bottom, position by position by position. If you enjoy everything, make sure to drop some love. Let's talk about it. FIFA forecast. Well, it's getting dark outside early. It is getting colder. You're going to see me in a lot more sweaters. But we also have these Road to the Final and UCL foot items. If you get the right versions of some of these players, you're talking about end game status potentially. So you got to think, do you want to make an investment? Are you on a short term, a mid-term, or a long term? And also, how's the weekend league been going for you? Comment down below, what's your weekend league record? I teased it. I talked about it. I mentioned it. We're talking best players, FIFA 21. I'm joined by a good friend of mine, pro FIFA player for Complexity, Alan Alvey. What's happening, my brother?
Yo, what's going on, Mike? I'm ready to talk some FIFA players.
Let's start with goalkeepers, probably the most subjective position of any of the players on the virtual pitch, mainly because there is no guarantee as the lights behind me just started firing off. So tell me, who has been your best go-to goalkeeper?
My personal best go-to goalkeeper has been Alisson. I have been rocking with him this entire FIFA so far and for Champions. However, though, I have one word, and that word is Pope.
So yeah, I was gonna say, if you wanted to go the cheap route, Pope has got to be your main man. He's like 6'7", Premier League, English link-ups. You're running Gomez as a potential center back. I've really enjoyed Van der Sar this year. I think Ter Stegen's great. I've actually been using Ederson this past weekend instead of going the Alisson route. But with goalkeepers, if they have a great game, you say they're amazing. If they have a bad game, you quick sell them. It's a really difficult position to actually be clear-cut. This guy's the best, and this is why he's the best in comparison to some of the other positions on the virtual pitch. So let's move forward. I'm going to jump straight into fullbacks. So let's talk left back, right back. I have a feeling our left backs are going to align. Tell me, who have you enjoyed using throughout the weekend league? I know you've been doing your thing.
Oh, for sure. Left back, I feel like everyone uses this guy. He does play for Real Madrid. And Mendy, Ferland Mendy, he has that 5-star weak foot, just holds it down. He has the pace, the defending is there, the physicals. He basically has it all.
Yeah, Mendy's not really missing anything. Even on the competitive level, I don't think there's a better player right now, period. And that's kind of reconfirmed from what we've seen with the Global Series to get things kicked started. We had the Invitational and everybody was still using Mendy. Right back, right now I'm using Semedo, who's going to come in much more affordable than Mendy. I really enjoy him. I don't know if Alan's going to jump around. There's a little more debate for the right back position in terms or in comparison to the left back.
Yeah, I mean, you could go with Kyle Walker. I also personally do use Semedo, the Wolves edition. I link him up to Cristiano Ronaldo. Semedo has been really good. He also does offer that quick pace. He got good defending. You just really can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, he's got the burner. He's going to be your true fullback or wing back, and he's got, of course, the 4-star skill moves. Pretty easy on the ball, composure. It's all there. Until somebody's upgraded, I feel like Semedo's got to be your pickup, especially considering that he's not going to cost you a hefty price tag. But as we get into center backs, this is where I think we're going to start having a little more debate. So center backs, who have been your go-to players?
Yeah, so the center backs, I feel like this guy has been a staple for a lot of people, especially the professional competitive players. Rafael Varane, linking him up perfectly with Ferland Mendy. Not only that, he has very great defending. He's very pacey. He does have that quick agility, which helps him get to point A, from point A to point B really quick. And then the second center back, it's up for grabs basically. I'm personally using Inform Gomez. I did go from Virgil van Dijk to Gomez. If you want that pace, you have to go with Joe Gomez. And let me tell you, Mike, I feel like this year, FIFA 21, it's important to have quick, agile, pacey center backs. And that's the reason why I have stuck with Joe Gomez.
Yeah, I've actually got a few different names I want to give just some love to. I really enjoy the Aaron Longfoot item that dropped with MLS players. Maybe I have a New York Red Bulls bias, but I used him throughout a weekend league. Loved him. Ike Opara, huge fan. I would prefer Inform Gomez to the standard Virgil van Dijk, so I'm with you on that. I'm co-signing that. I think that's been the best upgraded center back that's came out. Klosterman, who has an 83 Road to the Finals foot item, is also incredible. There's a lot of debate here. used Varane a little bit. I dislike going up against him more than when I have him. If something doesn't seem perfect for me, maybe it's the way that I'm defending, but he once again is part of that package deal where you're talking big bodies, massive, 6'4" with a presence, and especially on the AI defending end, he's going to go for everything. He just takes up so much space. All right, central midfielders. Drop a couple names. I know one of them we're all going to agree on if you can afford them.
All right, we'll start from cheap beast to not so cheap beast. Sissoko. I definitely recommend Sissoko.
79 overall Sissoko.
Yeah, 79 rated Sissoko. Trust me, I've used him against other pro players who were using Gullit, and let me tell you, Sissoko put Gullit on the floor. Ever since that day when Sissoko bodied Gullit, my whole perspective of his card changed. So I recommend him. Conte obviously can't go wrong with him. He's a little shorter though than Sissoko. However, though, he's quicker and just very, very solid whenever it comes to defending. You have Vieira, obviously Patrick Vieira, baby. I'm currently using him, and we cannot forget about Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez has also been really good this FIFA. Definitely recommend him. He does have the 4-star skill moves, which is very important in the midfield. And you know, Renato Sanchez, he potentially can get a lot of upgrades.
That's going to be a scary foot item. I have the Inform Renato on my list. You also have, of course, the UCL Renato, which is technically the same until those upgrades happen, or potentially they happen. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Ruud Gullit. It's got to be on the list. Ruud Gullit is going to be a monster. I know that you said Sissoko's out here big bodying Ruud Gullit. I don't think you can go wrong with Ruud Gullit, but he's going to come in at a max price. Another player that I've really enjoyed this year and highly would recommend if you're going Brazilian or Premier League is Haaland, who has just a complete package midfielder. I called him the Brazilian Gullit. He's able to go box to box, has those skill moves, great balance. He can make the penetrating passes and give you that chase back and give you a presence as well. He's a little pit bull in the midfield, and I definitely co-sign him heavily. But now we're getting into what you came for, the attackers. I think we should start with wingers. Let's go combine them, left wings, right wings. Once again, I know for sure we have to agree on at least one of these guys, because there is a certain Brazilian that I feel is a staple in this year's installment, as he has been in previous iterations as well.
I know exactly who you are talking about when it comes to the Brazilian winger, and he goes by the name of Menino Ney, aka Neymar, the beast, man, the 5-star skiller, 5-star weak-footed player. He's so good, honestly. Highly recommend him. He's very agile, probably the best dribbler in the game. He does have low physical. However, though, he makes up for having low physical with that amazing dribble, because it's very difficult to take the ball away from him. So definitely he's a winger that I really do enjoy. Another winger, I did like Douglas Costa. He's a cheap Brazilian winger, outside player, very, very cheap, affordable. He doesn't have the best shot. However, though, every other attribute besides the shot is amazing. The pace is there, really good down the wing with that pace, but burning the outside fullbacks. Also, he does have great dribbling, like 92, 91 dribbling, 5-star skill move. So definitely those are two wingers that I recommend.
I've always been on edge with Douglas Costa. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe because he hasn't been as impressive in previous FIFAs, and I'm just following suit with the track record. I want to backdoor or mirror you, of course, with Neymarcito. I mean, he's the real deal. He's got to be there for you. I also rate Mane this year. I think this is a great year for Mane, great year for Salah. If you're going to the right wing, I mean, you'd have to have a little more of a significant budget, but the best right winger I've came across is probably Garrincha. When I go up against people that are using Garrincha, this man has the ball on the string. It's as if they have two Neymars. I don't know if you felt that on the pro end or not.
I haven't came up against Garrincha's, thankfully, but I did see a lot of other guys using him. It was thrown out to me in my Twitch chat. People were like, you need to use Garrincha. Another player, Rashford. Can't forget about Rashford, the
now we're moving to strikers. Oh, actually, I always think of him being a striker, but you're right, of course.
No, sir.
Is he well, he has the inform that makes him a striker. But yeah, wherever you place Rashford, this is a perfect transition, because I was going to go, obviously, our last position is strikers. Rashford, even as a winger, you should play him as a striker. And then he has an inform that converts his position to a striker. I think that he is one of the most gifted players. He will change your weekend league, and he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I mean, the inform would be a little more expensive, but his default foot item, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I want to say he's a couple 100,000 coins, which might sound expensive, but it's not unreasonable. He's not in the same ballpark as some of these icons we're talking about, the likes of a Neymar, who's going to cost you over 1 million coins. There's something really, really special about Rashford this year. The way that he turns, the 5-star skills, the big bodiness. He scores goals that are beautiful and easy on the eyes, but he also scores those nasty, trashy, taking the garbage out, those types of goals that you need to win games. Also with attackers, Mbappe is at a premium, CR7 premium, the likes of an R9 or a Cruyff. I don't know who else you've been experiencing, whether you're using firsthand or you're going up against, it's really causing you a lot of issues.
All of those guys that you mentioned have been really good to see. For Ronaldo has honestly stood out compared to FIFA 20, where he wasn't used a whole lot, believe it or not, in the pro scene. This FIFA is a completely different story. Cristiano Ronaldo is my striker and he is phenomenal. Let me take a look at his stats, the stats that I have with him. 382 goals for my club in 295 matches played. That is really amazing from a striker.
How many assists does he have?
The assist is up there as well, which is amazing. 244 assists.
Wow. Talk about an output. Because people always ask, well, are these players worth the price tag? And the answer is simply yes. If your main goal is getting more wins, I mean, that stat line is unbelievable from a contribution combination between your assist and your goals. And that's not even the opportunities that maybe he started where he won a header or passed. He wasn't the assist, but maybe he was the pass before the assist or a knockdown or whatever it might have been.
Some other strikers though that I highly recommend. I've heard they're really, really good. Talisca, the Brazilian, he's been really good this FIFA. Yeah, so you probably know exactly what he's capable of doing. You also do have Son, right? He just came out with that POTM Player of the Month. He looks really, really good. 5-star weak foot. These are all players that I highly recommend. And really quick to like touch on Rashford, highly recommend getting Rashford. I wouldn't be surprised if his price tag was 500k. He's going for like 100 to 200k coins. Trust me, completely worth every single coin.
No, I couldn't co-sign more. I feel like my Twitter is strictly around Rashford every weekend because I'm just so impressed that he's been so consistent with scoring such variety and being so dynamic, being so prolific. Because you kind of start to think, well, maybe the game's going to pass him up. He's an 85 overall. If you have the inform, he's an 86. Maybe other players are going to catch up. Defenders are going to get better. What he does well is going to be counteracted, and it hasn't happened yet, at least in my opinion. So if you guys don't have big budgets, you're in some in-between zone, you didn't make any investments, this is your guy. Go for Rashford. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Today is Guest Showdown. Today we're talking about Goal Scorers Challenge. Fancy yourself a goal scorer. Here we have trivia about some of the best strikers, some of the fastest goals, prolific goal scorers, and Golden Boot winners. I'm not feeling that confident about this prompt that we're reading regarding the Guest Showdown. I obviously did not put this together, and I don't trust Alan, so we're going to be writing down our responses. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Well, you don't trust me. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I know that you're competitive and you do whatever you need to do to win. Our first question, who has the most goals in the Premier League? A, Alan Shearer, B, Wayne Rooney. You better get this right, brother.
I got it wrong.
You're lying. You don't know Alan Shearer is the leading goal scorer of all time.
Yo, I was thinking the best goal scorer, like in terms of like the quality of the goal.
Oh, this is gonna be a long one for you. All right, next one. The quickest goal in First Division soccer history was scored by Nawaf El Abid in the Saudi Arabian League. How long did it take? A, 1 second. B, 2 seconds. C, 3 seconds. D, 4 seconds. So,
first of all, I don't think 1 second is possible.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think 1 second's too quick. I've already decided where I'm going on this. It's on screen. Is yours on screen?
Yes.
We are both incorrect. Apparently, you can score a goal in 2 seconds.
No, I gotta see it. No,
yeah, can we Google this? Can we show this on screen?
صورة البداية بتعلن عن بداية المباراة وادي أول كرة كده ملعوبة وجول.
Next question. A Frenchman named Just Fontaine achieved the record for most goals in a World Cup during the 1958 tournament in Sweden. How many goals? Okay. I kind of feel like this should have came across maybe my radar, but it didn't, which is not good. Obviously, neither of us were around in 1958. A, 9 goals. B, 11 goals. C, 13 goals. And D, 15 goals. I don't know the answer, but I've put an answer up.
I put an answer down too.
Where'd you go?
I went with C.
Who famously broke 3 Guinness World Records in the Bundesliga when he scored 5 goals in 9 minutes? A, Marco Reus. B, Robert Lewandowski. C, Kevin De Bruyne. D, Kevin Volland.
I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, I remember this.
That is it right there. I'm showing the answer.
Who has the most World Cup goals of all time? Oof. We're going to get killed if we get this wrong, I feel like.
Yeah, the pressure's on.
Miroslav Klose, A. B. Ronaldo, the Brazilian. C. Muller. D. Just Fontaine. I think I know the answer, brother.
You better not be Googling it, bro.
All right, we're both still in the game. Boom. I remember, we both were around for this. Next question. Goalkeeper Asmir Begovic scored the longest goal, 100.5 yards, for which Premier League team? A. Leeds United, B. Manchester United, C. West Ham United, and D. Stoke City. Begovic was very popular in FIFA. Just off FIFA alone, you should be off the clubs. So I have D. Stoke City.
Same.
Yep. Austrian Josef Beacon is largely credited for having the most first division goals in football history. In 530 matches, how many goals did he score? Wow. Okay. A, 500 to 600 goals. B, 600 to 700 goals. C, 700 to 800 goals. And D, 800 plus goals. I think he's going to score more than the 5 to 600. There's the Mike tip, as if he knows something.
Yeah, I mean, there's mine on the screen.
I went. What did you go with?
600, 700.
Same. Goalkeeper Rogerio Cini has more goals than any other goalkeeper. How many goals does he have? Do you know who this guy is?
I do not.
So how many goals does he have? I'm assuming that he took all the free kicks and the penalty kicks, mostly the penalty kicks. A, 10 to 30. B, 31 to 60. C, 61 to 90. And D, 91 to 120 goals.
That's what I'm saying. Right there.
This is the make or break. I think I'm up one right now. I think you need this. All right, so first off, I'd like to apologize to the Brazilians for us not knowing anything about this player and putting some disrespect on his name. We only gave him 60 to 90. I also, secondly, would like to say I appreciate you, Alan. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. A pleasure.
And where can everybody follow you? I know that you're live streaming almost daily, but give us a
Alan
scoop.
Avi, basically across all social media platforms. Some platforms have the underscore at the end of it. Yeah, Alan Avi, ALANAVI.
Follow Alan. Make sure to drop him some love, and we'll have a lot more content coming out ASAP.